Well, let me start by thanking you all for coming tonight and for hosting this. This is the one time of the year when the Board of Education and members of the County Council are up on the same dais together answering questions from citizens. So I really appreciate that opportunity, not only to dialogue with you, but also to effectively dialogue with my County Council colleagues. And I want to thank Councilmember Berliner, particularly for the gracious tone that he brought tonight. I think that hopefully we'll end up this way. We certainly didn't last year, but at least we can start out with the goal of working together. And I think from our perspective, it's certainly better to do it with us than do it to us. If you needed any bad news added to the prior bad news, I can add a little bit more. The ERA funds are gone. We're hitting the federal funding cliff. We used some of those funds to do some additional things, and now that the money is gone, frankly, we're facing some choices. President Obama has instituted a 2-year freeze on federal salaries, which affects lots of households in Montgomery County, including mine. And that means that there will be additional reduced revenues at the county level. I read today that the average property tax assessment in Montgomery County is down 20%. And so that will also affect the funds that are available. So we are living in very tough fiscal times, and I think we all acknowledge that. In terms of priorities, I would associate myself with Mr. Durso's remarks. If you don't have basic security, if kids are worried about their safety, I think it's very hard for them to learn. And we had some back and forth last year about school resource officers. And I would just want everybody to take a moment to imagine a worst case scenario and ask what that's worth, because that's worth a lot in my opinion. I also would associate myself with Mr. Durso's remarks about direct classroom instruction. When it comes to eliminating things like reading specialists and the staff development positions that are used, frankly, for so many things in our schools, those really impact on a particular child's educational opportunities. And a child who doesn't learn to read, that's for life. So I think the lens that I try to always bring is, what does this mean to the child in the classroom? Because that's who we're serving. I would just make one final point, which is, at a larger level, even though we're in very, very difficult budget times, we also have a responsibility to our future. We have a responsibility as a state, as a county, to sustainability. I read an article in this last week about a small town in Alabama that may be a harbinger of what's to come. They stopped paying their pensions. They were told that they were going to run out of money in their pension fund in 2009, and they did. So their pensioners have their homes foreclosed, they're going back to work. The unsustainable promises that that town made, or that they failed to fund when they had the opportunity, have ended for those people in a terrible scenario. So even as we look at the short-term pain, I think we need to make sure that we are going to be whole, and our employees are going to be whole, and able to count on a future, and able to know what that future actually is 10, 15, 20 years out. Thanks.